Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A man is in police custody and a woman in hospital following a suburban stabbing this afternoon. A number of police swarming to South Hobart after witnesses reported seeing an injured woman on busy Macquarie Street.
South Hobart's main road turned into a crime scene. A man in custody and a woman in hospital after a suspected stabbing early this afternoon.
We can tell that it's a sharp implement and there's been a wound to her leg. It's not fully known at this stage what is, but the investigation's only in its early stages.
Police arriving on the Macquarie Street scene around 1 p.m, following reports of an injured woman in the street, saying it was the home of the man aged in his 50s, the female in her 30s visiting.
As we know, they're acquaintances. They're not in a relationship. It's not a family violence related matter. There's just been an argument between two people, which we're trying to determine it now what over.
She was taken by ambulance to the Royal Hobart Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The man was arrested at the scene.
Thanks to some really good work by the public and members of the bike shop up the road, the male was taken into custody quite quickly, and it was some really good work by uniformed police. They were here really quickly.
Police remained on the scene here on the corner of Denison and Macquarie Streets for several hours today, blocking off a significant length of this usually busy footpath while they completed their investigations. We'd
just like to say that it's a one-off incident. There's no need for anyone to be stressed. The people are known to each other.
Urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Firefighters are settling in for the long haul as they battle a 20,000 hectare bushfire in the southwest wilderness. A new camp and airbase is being set up near the fire ground, and today help arrived from specialist New South Wales crews.
A 14-person crew arriving from New South Wales, responding to a call for help to battle the southwest wilderness blaze.
It's in some really sensitive areas, so hence that we believe that's why we're here, to help rather than taking in a lot of machinery, doing a lot of footwork type firefighting.
Gearing up, they're prepared to set up camp in the fire ground to stamp out some of the most remote parts of the bushfire in the northern corner.
Our guys and girls are trained in staying out potentially overnight and for several days, and also familiar with different ways of getting in, being put in through using choppers, different extraction techniques, etc.
They are prepared that they may need to walk for 2, 3 or 4 hours to get to an area where they can do some effective work.
The team including 2 specialist paramedics with the important job of keeping check on the crew's welfare.
Our role is to look after the welfare of the team, so that includes their dehydration, their fatigue levels, anything that's minor that we can patch up and keep them going.
The bushfire is northwest of Mount Field, covering more than 20,000 hectares. It's been burning for more than 2 weeks, and the battle is expected to draw on. Authorities setting up a new airbase and camp for 80 people at Bushy Park.
It just cuts down our travel times and makes firefighting more efficient when we can reduce the amount of time it takes for the helicopter to get out onto the fire ground and to not just for firefighting, but to deploy resources and people. It's more efficient for us.
Parts of the fire ground and other southern districts faced high to very high fire danger today, but tomorrow the potentially troubling conditions move to the northeast. Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania has been given another fruit fly scare just days after the state was declared pest-free. Fruit fly larvae has been detected in an imported nectarine purchased from a Mowbray supermarket. A product recall has been issued, but Biosecurity Tasmania says the detection won't affect the state's pest-free status.
The public was quite vigilant and saw what she suspected were fruit fly larvae and reported it to us, and we've confirmed that they're fruit fly larvae and nectarines imported from Victoria.
Separate investigations are now underway in Tasmania and Victoria. A popular beach has been reopened just 1 day after it was shut down due to astronomical levels of faecal contamination in the water. Warning signs were taken down at Blackmans Bay Beach today. New tests showing a significant improvement in water quality, now declared safe for swimming. But still, no one knows how the water became so contaminated.
Readings that we got here are astronomical. They broke records for the Derwent Estuary. So from that perspective, we're really concerned about the health impacts of that, and we are now focused on making sure people feel confident to swim here.
Taswater has so far been unable to find any blockages, pipe breaks or problems at treatment facilities which may have led to the pollution. A manhunt is still underway for two thugs who doused a 2-year-old boy and his mother in petrol in Kings Meadows. Police are pleading for information 2 days after the altercation and subsequent robbery. It's believed an older, small red sedan or hatchback was seen near the K Street home around 7 a.m. on Wednesday. Both offenders are described as being in their mid-20s to 30s. Coroner Simon Cooper today released his findings into the sudden death of a man living at a New Norfolk mental health facility. Mr Cooper found 52-year-old Kenneth Francis Dunster died of asphyxia after choking on food in July 2015. He said since the death, several changes had been made at the Millbrook Rise Rehabilitation Centre, including improved meal supervision and a focus on first aid responses to choking. People up early at Launceston's Cataract Gorge this morning were greeted by an unusual sight. The red helicopter making several trips from Kings Wharf to the gorge, transporting large parts of a plastic pontoon. The Mona Foma mission creating a base for a 12-metre cubed installation by Launceston artist Amanda Para. The Man on a Pontoon sculpture will be inflated at 7 a.m. on Sunday to mark the start of the week-long festival. 4 days of fast-flowing water action has kicked off in the state's Central Highlands. It's been 25 years since the Australian Championships have been held at Brady's Lake, and local challengers are lapping up the thrills and spills.
Venturing into the deceptively quiet stream, this is just the calm before the storm as the Slalom Championships open with a crunch. It's a punishing 400 metres of rocks and rapids, leaving little margin for error as paddlers negotiate the gates, all under the watchful eyes of judges. Competitors from across the country are battling it out over the 4-day challenge, but the locals are happy to lap up the home ground advantage.
Hoping to get some really nice runs down. It's a good lead up to our selection events in February for the national team. And yeah, being on my home course, I'm really keen to get some good runs down and see how I go against the other girls.
Returning to the water is Huonville's Daniel Watkins, back to defend his K1 and C1 title from last year. He's got a soft spot for the Brady's Lake course.
Modern courses these days are all made with concretes and plastic, but it's, you know, just a natural flowing river made with rocks, and it stacks up to all the biggest, best courses in Europe. It's very challenging, very fast.
Almost too fast for some. Today's qualifying run is just a chance for competitors to dip their toes in the water, with the real race for medals underway this weekend. It's also the first time the National Championships have been held at the lake for 25 years.
It's really difficult. This is world class. You can hold a world championship on this course. It's the skill level required is very, very high in this sport. So it's very, very challenging. In fact, we've got to be careful not to make it too difficult.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
And a South Australian adventurer has ticked another mission off his bucket list this morning. Lindsay Warner's perseverance to circumnavigate Tasmania solo on a jet ski paying off. The 60-year-old crossing the finish line at the Devonport Bluff an hour earlier than expected and was relieved to be greeted by partner Sandra Berry after 12 days exploring the state's coastline.
There's so many different beautiful isolated beaches. Hey, I'd love to come back here one day if I could remember where it was, but it's certainly a beautiful part of the world. But just to do the sheer size of it, I've enjoyed the challenge of planning. It's been 12 months in the planning, and now it's finished, and suddenly it's all over.
Lindsay also says after encountering up to 8-metre swells along the way, he wouldn't recommend the journey to the faint-hearted. Around 180 pilgrims set off through the Huon Valley this morning, completing the first stint of a 2-day wilderness trek. Inspired by a religious pilgrimage in Spain, the 28-kilometre walk brings together faith and folk festivities.
I think they like the rhythm of walking, meditating, coming together for a great feast on the Friday night, and then a festive ritual at the end in Cygnet to coincide with the folk festival. This is really folk religion.
The hikers' mission finishes at St James Church in Cygnet tomorrow afternoon during the folk festival. The stage is set for a new Tasmanian musical production of Les Mis, opening tonight at Hobart's Playhouse Theatre. A dramatic story of love, death and tragedy scaled down for the small stage.
A 19th century Parisian tavern brought to life on the stage. Final preparations are underway for tonight's opening show, an intimate telling of Victor Hugo's historical tale.
It's a very small theatre. And so I think most people are used to seeing Les Mis in a very big theatre in a very extravagant kind of way. And I think what we've managed to find a balance with is hitting all of those key magical points.
This symbolic flag of rebellion will fly high above a cast of around 30. The spotlight set to shine on these actors in the making.
Sometimes I get a little bit stage fright, but I manage it, I think, usually. I really like being on stage and showing every person what I can do. I really like being an actress and I want to become one in the future as well, and I want to try as best as I can.
Sydney's Daniel Bell taking on the complex lead of Jean Valjean.
It is challenging just in so many different aspects. There's a dramatic side of it, there's a musical side of it as well. And then of course the story, and I think that's what keeps everyone coming back, including the performers coming back to the show itself.
It's a very rich human experience, musically, physically. There's a dynamic there that is exciting. Yeah, I think Hobart's in for a treat. Yeah.
The tragic musical will run at Hobart's Playhouse Theatre until February 3rd. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian Tigers coach Adam Griffith has revealed Cricket Australia never told him Matthew Wade had to bat higher up the order to be considered for the Sri Lanka Test. Griffith says it only came to his attention after a chat with Aussie coach Justin Langer a few days ago.
He explained to me that he's at batting at 6 is one of the reasons they haven't selected him, I suppose. Yeah, early on there was no communication from CA to get him up the order, to get him looked at.
Wade will line up for the Canes in their match against the Melbourne Stars on Monday night. American Sophia Kenin will soon face off against France's Elise Cornet for a spot in the Hobart International Final. The winner will play either Switzerland's Belinda Bencic or Slovakia's Anna Karolina Schmedlova. Bencic lost the first set 6-7, but she regained the upper hand in the second, with the match now going to a third set.
And it goes. We're all levelled up. Bencic, she didn't find it easy to seal that second set, but she has done.
And Chinese Taipei's Hao Qing Chan and Letitia Chan are through to the doubles final after a 6-4, 7-5 win today. The finals will take place at the Domain Tennis Centre tomorrow. Launceston Tornadoes players Lauren Nicholson and Ali Wilson will join their former teammate Lauren Mansfield as part of the 2019 Opals squad. The news was announced last night, with the club saying it can't wait to see if they have 3 Tornadoes playing for Australia this year. The Opals have a big year ahead with the Asian Cup and next year's Olympic qualifiers. And a little legend has arrived back on Tasmanian soil after spending a week competing in America. 5-year-old Cruz Kelly was up against some of the world's best sprint car drivers at the Tulsa shootout, but his dad says that didn't stop the speed demon tearing it up and loving his first taste of international competition.
Back on the family farm, Cruz Kelly celebrates his international debut with big sister Lace. The little legend already counting down the days to being back on the Tulsa track.
It raced a lot faster. Well, I felt proud of him because he got out there and it was his first year and he's just so tiny for it all.
Cruz took to the Tulsa shootout against 62 others from around the world, his family watching on, at times nervously.
I was a bit scared because there were like 12-year-old kids my age racing him, but he was really good.
Despite holding his ground early in the week-long competition, the pint-sized sprint car driver didn't make the feature, but his results were still outstanding.
He qualified 8th, he dropped a couple of spots, he ended up finishing 10th, so got a lot quicker once it got to later in the week, but he was a lot faster, so we're really happy, yeah.
And it's just falling short of making the main race that's got him raring to go again, starting a hunger that's likely to spur him on over the next 11 months.
And I did a lot of practice this year and getting today main.
His family vowing to support his dream every step of the way.
He loved the crowd, and I didn't know if that would daunt him or not, but no, he enjoyed it a lot, and not making the feature made him hungry. He had to sit there and watch the other boys in the A, so he was keen watching that and wanted to go back out and run again.
And at this stage, he may even try to leave his pit access band on until the annual event rolls back around.
I got this brace to get in the pits and I haven't taken it off.
Jessie Gilmore, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. Ooze, the warmest around the state today with 30 degrees. Hobart recorded 28, Launceston 26, Burnie and Devonport a bit cooler, 21. Apart from the north, temperatures were above average today. Grove, Campania and Bushy Park 29, Cressy 26, Friendly Beaches 25, King Island 24, Flinders and Smithton 23 degrees, St Helens 22 today and Strawn reached 21. There is some low-level cloud that streamed over northern Tasmania while the rest of the state found clear skies after a bank of cloud left the southeast this morning. An area of middle-level cloud is over southeast New South Wales. Frontal cloud moves south of Adelaide, and at the far north of Queensland has that tropical cyclone remnants overhead. Tomorrow, the cold front crosses Tasmania with a high centre moving over the Bight. A ridge persists over Queensland and the broad trough is still prominent. The 20 to 30 knot northwesterlies will tend southwesterly tomorrow morning, blowing in at 15 to 20 knots, reaching 30 knots over the southeast later, swells at 2 metres. A strong wind warning for eastern and southern waters between St Helens Point and Sandy Cape, a small craft wind alert for the Central Plateau Lakes. Saturday for Hobart. Fine and partly cloudy, 23 the maximum, 20 the top for Medina with a morning shower. Mostly sunny for Oatlands though, and 22. Launceston, fine, sunny, 27 degrees, 25 for Devonport, 18 the top for Lyowini, cooler but sunny. Sunny also for Burnie, 23 the top, 20 the high for Strawn with an early shower clearing, same for Marrawar, a top of 20 degrees. St Helens mostly sunny, 27, 23 for Swansea, Orford mostly sunny and 24. Saturday's UV, extreme for all districts. On Sunday, fine and mostly sunny with light winds. Fine as well on Monday with cloud increasing during the afternoon. 34 for Launceston on Tuesday with fine but partly cloudy weather and possibly a light shower over the west. Sunny and 32 in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow. Partly cloudy in Melbourne, mostly sunny and warm conditions for Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane. Well, the high in Hobart today was 28 degrees. It's now warmed up to 29, a bit cooler in Launceston, 22 at the moment, and Devonport 21. Rachel, I've organised some great weather for our weekend activities. Golf for me and the beach for you.
Yes, well, don't go losing your balls, Merv. That's all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Good night.